paying tribute and recognizing the following women. Chaitanya Madagani, also known as Shweta from Melbourne. Shweta's husband murdered her and ran away to India. There he went to her parents' house and he admitted that while he was trying to mute her with his hands, she died. Mainstream media call the murder of Shweta a wheelie bin murder. We have had a decade of wheelie bin murders, as journalist Jane Gilmore points out. Shweta did not die from a wheelie bin, she was murdered by her husband. Even after women are murdered, our mainstream media refuses to give them any dignity. And this is Jasmine Kaur from Adelaide. She reported to the police that her ex-partner was stalking her. 1 month later, he abducted her from work, drove her to the outskirts of town and buried her alive. She was 21 years old. And there's Kamaljeet Sidhu from Sydney, a 27-year-old international student also murdered by her husband. And Dr. Preeti Reddy, 32 years old from Sydney, was murdered by her ex-partner. She was described as elegant, social, kind, and witty. And Shireen Kumar, also murdered by her partner in Sydney. She was described as astute and intelligent. She was a businesswoman and a mother of two. And Sajiba Tasneem, who was pressured by her husband to leave Perth and go back to Lahore in Pakistan, only to be murdered by her father-in-law because she wanted to come back. She was described by her friends as humble, positive, and a beautiful soul. And Nalomi Pereira, who was murdered by an estranged partner in front of her children. Her friends said she had the most contagious smile and warm hugs to offer, and to know her was to love her. They are gone, but they will not be forgotten. There's a word in Punjabi, Urdu, and Hindi, and it's called Izzath. It means honor, but mostly it's used to keep women quiet, to put them in their place, to control them. We tell our women if they speak up, it will ruin their Izzath, it will ruin the family's honor. Because what is more important than Izzath? I'll tell you what's more important than Izzath. It's to be safe, to be loved, to be heard, to be believed. These words have put women in prison for centuries. Family members must stop prioritizing relationships with perpetrators over safety. What does this do to our society over time? What message is it sending to young girls? It says that you need to stay quiet to protect the peace. You need to stay quiet to protect the reputation of our family. What does family even mean if we don't feel safe? What does community even mean if we can't speak openly to one another without being judged? To all the women who want to speak up but are afraid, let me tell you this. Our Izzath will grow stronger not because we stayed quiet, but because we spoke up for ourselves and one another. The burden of shame will rightfully be moved to the perpetrator because it was never meant to be ours to carry in the first place. The world is not a fair place right now, but we will fight the good fight and we won't stop. I urge the government and peak bodies to fund more culturally appropriate services led by our community, for our community. We need to stop taking a one-size-fits-all approach. In Australia, 1 in 3 migrant and refugee women have experienced some form of family or domestic violence, with temporary visa holders reporting proportionally higher levels of violence as well as controlling behaviours. So I want to finish with a message to some of the most vulnerable women in our community, women on temporary visas being held hostage by their partners or in-laws. I will share this message in Punjabi, my mother tongue, and I will translate to English. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ spouse visa ਤੇ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਆ, if you have come here on a spouse visa, ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ husband ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਗਾਲਾਂ ਕੱਢਦਾ ਜਾਂ abuse ਕਰਦਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ safely ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. If your husband hits you, swears at you, abuses you, you can leave him and still remain safely in this country. ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ husband ਜਾਂ ਸਹੁਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ visa cancel ਕਰ ਦੂਗੇ, if your husband or in-laws threaten to cancel your visa if you speak up, ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸਿਰਫ ਗਲਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਗੈਰ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਹੈ. This is not only wrong, this is illegal. Silence is not the answer. Let's use our voice and speak up. Thank you.